little bit. I feel like it's been so long since I have been on a live. I don't know why it feels so long. Maybe it has been a long time. I don't know. Actually, I think it has been almost a month since I've done one of these. So I'm happy to be here. I am happy that I am able to um, think straight after the past few weeks that I've had. So I'm going to get into that towards the end of all of this. But anyway, today we are doing the Sunday Energy Update. And what that is we are going to be talking about what the Earth's energy is looking like right now, what the United States energy is looking like right now, and some tips for the collective. I also have a channeled message for the collective, and I have a story about flight or fight mode that has completely changed my perspective on how I'm going to be teaching people to meditate, how I'm going to be teaching people how to quiet the mind and tap into their spiritual gifts. So, and some tips there to help you with that, because I know that it is hard to concentrate or hard to tap in sometimes, and I have went through a personal experience that I can now help a lot more with that. So, with that being said, I will go ahead and dive in to the Sunday energy update. All right. So, the energy of the earth. Now, when I was feeling into this, what I was seeing is like the earth, and there was this energy that was rising out of the top of the earth, and it was like it was just purging this hot energy, and this hot energy was like I mean, you can look at it as like volcanic kind of energy, but you can also look at it as like an overactive energy that was being held in the earth. And I think we all are aware that there's been a lot of earthquakes, a lot of volcanic activity. Um, there's been a lot of weird weather, been a lot of just weird stuff going on with the earth. And there has been a excessive amount of energy that has been building inside of the earth, and it is now purging that energy. Now, this is the issue with that. It's good that it's purging that energy, because with that energy that was being held in the earth, it was creating a chaotic energy. And this is one where it's like affecting the animals, it's affecting us, making us feel like we are disconnected from uh, everything, pretty much, where we are just like being overwhelmed with this excessive energy. And that has been what's been happening for at least the past 3 weeks. And we've had hotter than normal weather, we've had all the stuff that's out there, or that's been happening. And now what's happening is it is releasing that pent up energy. And when it releases that energy, what's going to happen is there's going to be a depletion in the earth's energy. This isn't going to last for long, but there is going to be a little window in there of uh, depletion energy with the earth. So what we're going to need to do in that time is we're going to need to nourish our energy with uh, or we're going to need to nourish the earth with our energy. That's what I was trying to say. And the cool thing is here is with that depletion comes this rejuvenation process. So when we're in that depletion mode, let me see. I had some things written down. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So I want to say that when it gets depleted, we are going to, or you may, not are, you may feel a sense of being disconnected with Mother Earth. And this can happen for a couple of weeks. And after that, or while you're going through that, it is important to try to or to try to tap into Mother Earth by going out in nature or doing some grounding or just going out and being with the plants and the animals and all of that. But I just want you to know that there's going to be this disconnection energy that's going to happen. But what happens is then once this is over, the earth is going to start to rejuvenate and regenerate its energy inside. And when this happens, it's bringing this fresh, beautiful energy. And what ends up happening is it brings in this new connection. It brings in this strong, fresh connection that is stronger than any connection that we've felt in a long, long time. So when the earth goes through this rejuvenation process, I expect for everyone, like within the next like 3 to 4 weeks, I expect everyone to start to feel this connection with Mother Earth, where you are just feeling like you are connected with all things on Mother Earth more than you've ever been. And this sparks a mass awakening of connecting with the earth. So it's going to be really good. And I want to read what I have because I'm having trouble looking at it and saying it at the same time. So it's going to go in depletion mode and it will start to regenerate. This usually is accompanied by a mass rejuvenation from the collective and creates a fresh new connection with the earth. This will be a great time of us reigniting our bond with each other and the earth. We should nurture and respect this bond. So when you start to feel this, when you start to feel that strengthened connection with the earth, nourish that and allow it to grow and build, because it's going to be able to build like no other. It's going to be a bond that you just haven't quite felt before. And I feel like, honestly, we have been disconnected from the earth. I mean, there's a lot of, we can go into many things with being disconnected from the earth, but like in general, there's been this disconnect that's been happening for about a month now, at least. And this disconnect is like no other. And I'm going to talk about it more in just a second because I've never experienced anything like this. And I want to talk about it. So anyway, nourish that bond, allow yourself to reignite that connection with Mother Earth, because it's going to be very, very strong. All right, so now I want to go to the United States energy. So I'm just going to read this first and then reiterate because I'm having trouble going back and forth and yeah. All right, so right now we are receiving help from the Mantis people. Now, I do not know much about the Mantis people. And for anyone that doesn't know or understand what I'm saying, yes, it does sound crazy. There is a alien species out there that is known as the Mantis people. They've been, it's been very widely known that they are here. I think the Hopi tribe or maybe some other Native American tribes have depictions of them in their drawings and stuff like that. I will say that I have always, or I believe that I've heard that the Mantis people were bad and not good. But right now they're doing some stuff, man, and they are helping us out. So if you had watched the last Sunday Energy Update, that was like, I think it was literally like 4 weeks ago, which is crazy. If you watch that, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you can go back and watch it on my YouTube channel, which is the Center for Healing and Integration. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can watch it in the other videos. But there were towers that were emitting this signal, and it was cutting a lot of people off from their from the spiritual side of things, and it was also interfering with people's connection with the earth, and it was just like interfering with everything. And there was a warning to make sure that we are protecting ourselves from this. So I've seen a lot of people in my office that are like, dude, like I've been feeling so disconnected. And these are people that haven't seen the Sunday Energy Update, at least I don't think. But they're like, I'm feeling super disconnected and I feel like I need an energy healing to get back in the swing of things. And that is what was happening with these towers. I have no clue what they were doing. I don't know. I truly don't. But I know I was told for all of us to protect ourselves from it, and that it's going to be causing a lot of bad stuff. So what I was seeing right now is that the mantis people are literally, and it's not like thousands of them, it's like a group of a few of them are going around from tower to tower, and they are interfering with these signals, and they're interfering with them enough to get our energy back and to get our connection back. It's disrupting the signal. I don't know why, but they're not like able to destroy them, but they're able to interrupt the signal. And as they bounce between towers, it interferes with the signal and confuses and scrambles that signal. So I'm going to read a little bit more and then dive more into it. They're interfering with the towers that are emitting the frequencies I mentioned last Sunday Energy Update. They are doing so by going one by one to mess up and scramble the signals. I believe that those signals were making people stray away from their spirituality and fall more into the physical side of things. This is now ending, and we are going to be diving even more into the spiritual side of things, and this is going to be a big reignition on the spiritual side of things. Allow yourself to connect and allow yourself to get back to it. Your connection will feel much stronger. So, like I just said, they are disrupting that signal, and what's going to happen is our spiritual side of things is going to reignite like no other. I truly feel this because we've been being scrambled. And if you've been feeling it, you understand. And if you haven't, then great. You've been doing whatever you need to do to stay connected. I'm going to be completely transparent and honest. I didn't protect myself from those frequencies as much because I felt like I was protected enough, and then I ended up taking on a new role in an area of my life, and that made me completely let my guard down, and it screwed me up. Not like in a crazy way, but like it disconnected me a lot, and I'm going to talk about that when I tell my story at the end of all this. But that reignition is going to happen, and those towers scrambling all of us is actually going to be backfiring now, because with that scrambling up of that energy, we are going to be reconnecting, and it is going to feel so good. And we just had a mass awakening happening. Like, oh man, don't quote me exact on this, but like 2 months ago or so, maybe 3. My concept of time has been super off. But there was a big awakening that was happening, and I was talking about it, and I was seeing it, and it was great to see people reigniting again and people awakening again. But then that kind of went whoosh, and it went down. And I don't know if maybe these tower flare-ups were because the elites or whoever the heck is in charge was catching on that there was a mass awakening happening, and they were trying to scramble that. I don't know. But I do know that right now the Mantis people are helping us out. And honestly, after this live, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go and look up what relationship we have with the Mantis people and also feel into that myself. But anyway, they're scrambling it, and you're going to start to feel, and I think Brandon just said, I have been feeling it. So you're not alone. So don't at all think you're alone in that. And you're going to start to feel a super big reignition in the spiritual realm of things. I think that's happening right now. Like, it's not like in 3 weeks, or like it's happening now. So within the next week or so, all of us should start to really feel that urge kicking in. And for me, I think it's freaking perfect timing, because in the fall, it's notorious for everyone looking inward. There's transformation happening with the trees, and that translates into transformation for us. And we're shedding old things. The end of the year energy is coming, and we start to shed all the old things and bring in the new. Like, there's so much that happens. And for us to be having our reignition happening, and that those downloads and that spiritual energy reconnecting with us, perfect timing. So as always, things are always in divine order, and I think that it is amazing and really, really good that we are in that energy right now. All right, so that is with the United States energy that's going on right now. So now I want to talk about a tip for the collective. Let me see what this tip was about again real quick before I start reading it. Okay. So this tip is really to help you reignite or reconnect to the spiritual realm of things. So what they're saying to do is that you should sorry, I got a message and it came through, so I was trying to erase it. Anyway, this tip is to help you connect with the earth. You're going to tether yourself with the earth, and then you're going to let go, because we've been driven so much to connect with the earth and be in this physical realm of things and let go of the spiritual side of things, that like we have to feel that security of us being tethered to the earth. And then we're going to allow ourselves to go out into the spiritual realm of things and reconnect with that. And the way that we're going to do that is, I want you to, not right now, but at some point soon, I want you to see a root. Imagine a root coming out of your tailbone and going deep down into the earth and just feeling nice and rooted and grounded and deep in the earth. You feel grounded now. You're connected to the earth, and that gives you that security of being connected to the earth. Then I want you to feel your consciousness, feel your awareness. The same as if I said, all right, close your eyes, and then I want you to take your consciousness across the room to the corner, turn around, and just look at yourself sitting in the chair that you're in right now. Most people can do that. Some people can't, I understand, but just try it. And I want you to allow your consciousness to raise out of your body, where now you can see your body, you're above your body, you're in the room, then you go out of the building, you're above the building, and then you go above the city, you see the city, then you're above the country, you see the country, and then you're out in space. When you're out in space, I want you to then just allow everything to turn white. Allow all the universe, all the earth, everything just to turn into where you're just surrounded in bright white energy. And I want you to allow yourself to sit in that energy, because what that energy is that is where you were before we manifested this earth. And by we, I mean you. And that may be confusing to some, but it doesn't really matter. It's just understand that we manifested this reality. We are God, and we made all of this. God made all of this, and God is us, and we are God. So that's where you come from, and that is where you start to connect and reconnect with that spiritual realm of things. In that space, as everything's bright white, and you're just allowing yourself to sit in it and be free and just be where you are, then I want you to allow yourself to go wherever you go. Allow yourself to, like if you're in that space and all of a sudden you take off on a journey with a spirit guide or something, that's great. Or you're there and you start thinking about some kind of situation. I don't care. Wherever you're at, just allow yourself to go, and you are connecting with spirit at that point, with the spiritual realm of things. And then I want you to bring your awareness back down. So then all of a sudden that bright white light closes in, and then you see the universe. You see all the stars, the planets, and then you see Earth down there. Then you start to come closer to the Earth, and then you go down to the United States. You come into Ohio, you go into Cincinnati, and then you find where you're at. Or unless you're not in Cincinnati, then you go wherever you're at. But you find wherever you're at, and then you allow yourself to reintegrate within your body. Now, I want you to then visualize a beam of bright white light coming down from the universe, going into the top of your head, down your spine, out of your tailbone, and deep down into the ground. You are connecting yourself to earth and spirit. That's what you're doing in that instance. And you are integrating it all. Do that as much as you want. It's a super, super good exercise, and it will get you connected to the spiritual realm of things like no other, and very fast. And when I first would do meditations like that, I was like, how is this helping? And it's one of those ones where you do it, you might not feel like it's directly helping, but then all of a sudden you start to feel really connected on a spiritual level in many different ways. And you're like, well, why do I feel so connected now? And that is why, is because you are starting to do that connection meditation, and that's why you start to feel connected. All right, so that is the tip for the week. And now we have two more things left, and it is the channeled message, which was a good one. I honestly don't even remember it, but I know I did it, and then I reread it, and I was, oh, that's a pretty good one. And then I want to tell you my story about what's happened to me recently, and it's pretty mind blowing for me, to be honest. So, all right, channeled message, and I'm going to read this, so bear with me. It says, and also this channeled message, when I ask for a channeled message, I ask for my guides, whoever would like to come through, basically. And there was quite a few that said, hey, there's a bunch of us that want to come through. Which one would you like to come through? And I said, I would like for whoever has what was it, like basically whoever's best for this Sunday energy update to give a message. I asked for them to come through, and then they sent them on down. And this was the message that I got. It says, we are so glad to be here and to be able to speak to you. We want to thank Josh for allowing us to come through, and we want to thank you for allowing yourself to be here to receive this message. Over the past couple of days, you have been overwhelmed with a massive download. This download was shared with you all and is working to bring you all to exactly where you need to be for this mass awakening and connection that is happening with Earth. You may have felt the download or even had dreams confirming it, but nonetheless, you have received it. With this download, you are going to be led to fast, which is like fasting. You're going to be led to be one with the trees, one with the plants, and you will be led to previous memories of how Earth once was. This is where it can be. This is where we want it to be, and this is the intent that we need to see it being. I don't know, that was scrambled up there. But so allow yourself to be free and explore this connection, as it is going to be unlike anything you have felt before. Lead with your heart and think with your brain. Understand when thinking is necessary and when leading with your heart is a must. With this message, we leave you a seed. Allow it to grow. That was the channeled message for this week. And what there was a part in there that I wanted to talk about. I can't even remember. I was just reading and I was like, oh, I want to talk about that. Basically, they're speaking on what we've just talked about. So I was glad to see that come through and have it as like confirmation that there is something that is happening that is going to be causing this mass awakening. And what they're saying is like there was a download that was given to us, and that's like a blanket of energy that's thrown over the collective to awaken us or send us down a certain path or whatever. And so that happened, and now what's happening is we're going to be led to start fasting more. And it's funny, before I even channeled this message, like today earlier, I watched a video, like it popped up, and it was of a girl talking about how we're only meant to eat like one meal every like 3 days or something like that. And our bodies are meant to be in a fasting state and stuff like that, which I don't know how I feel about that. I do believe that we shouldn't be eating as much as we do. But anyway, it's just funny because now we're talking about fasting and led to be one with the trees and the plants. And that's going to help open up that connection with Mother Earth and everything. And then the previous memories of Earth, I like that because when I go back and I see how Earth used to be, it is just like so amazing to me when I see that. And I just think that we need to intend to bring that back. Now, we're not going to be able to go and fight the big corporations and get this back the way that we want it to be. But when we set that intention and we put that out there, then it starts to build some traction no matter what anybody wants to do about that. But we have to have that on a collective level because intention is incredibly strong. All right. And then I think that was it. I keep having something I want to say about it, and then it keeps going away. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't know why that keeps happening. So then I want to tell my story of what has happened to me recently. It's been kind of crazy. So, and then after that, I do want to talk about some new events that I am going to be doing at the center in Delhi. Excuse me. Yeah, I think you're going to really like it, and it's going to be really, really cool. I'm excited about it at least. But, all right, so where do I start? So, I am like I started working as like in the beginning of my journey, of my spiritual journey. I was working as an electrician, wiring electrical panels and stuff like that. And I was just living in it was a pretty chill job. And then I realized that I needed to slow down and I needed to connect and I needed to be present and all of that stuff. And I did. And ever since then, life has just been great. And I have not been put in a flight or fight mode until my first son was born. And then my second son was born. I was put in flight or fight mode, but I just didn't feel it as strongly as I felt it the past couple of weeks. So, what happened is obviously I opened up the Sharonville location. And I also have the Delhi location. So, I felt that it was a great idea, and I still do feel like it was a great idea. But there is just not a lot of people that are wanting to rent space from the Sharonville location. And it's either because there's too many stairs, even though there's only 2 flights of stairs, and there's no elevator, or I don't even know. It's just such weird things. Like there's no sink in this room, and it's just like super odd things. So it's been really financially hard for me because I only have 3 rooms rented up there right now, and one of those people are leaving because they're moving far away. So I financially am struggling with keeping both centers open at this point. I have to keep it open because I have a lease on Sharonville until next year in April. I'm never going to close the bridge, or not the Bridgetown, the West Side location in Delhi. That location's super successful and super amazing. I love it, and I love the Sharonville location as well. I just need to get more people interested in working out of there and bringing that community together, because my goal was to create spaces for people to come and have different modalities, so many different modalities to choose from, and to be able to uh, help them in any way that they can. And so I opened up the Sharonville location thinking we can spread that up there. And unfortunately, there hasn't been enough practitioners interested in that space to really get it kicked off and going. I have some amazing people up there right now, and they're doing amazing stuff. But it takes a village, and that village isn't coming yet. So I one of the people that work, so in that Sharonville location, there's a real estate office. And for anyone that doesn't know, I'm a real estate agent as well. But I've kind of just put that on the back burner and been doing my spiritual work. But the owner of the real estate company reached out to me and was like, "Hey, Josh," he said, "look, I have this opportunity for a property management position, and it makes a decent amount of money, and you have the opportunity to make a lot of money doing it, and it's not a ton of work." And I was like, "Heck yeah, dude, let me look into it." I was skeptical, and I looked into it, and I met with him, met with others, and it was like, all right, this might be a good opportunity for me to make extra money so I can now not worry about the centers, and like not worry about getting the offices filled, and just let it genuinely fill and authentically fill, because it's going to. And we're going to have a great community in Sharonville. But right now we don't have the big community, but we still have a great community there. But I'm working towards it, and it will happen. But I started working that job, or it's not a job. It's like I have complete free reign over all of it. I just have to make sure the properties and everything are in order. And my wife and I decided she would take on most of the duties with that, so I can focus on all of the stuff here that I'm doing. But what happened is I dove in and I was like this whole file had been neglected for like 3-4 months now, meaning the houses and the apartments that I'm managing or taking care of were just neglected, and there was like basements in apartments flooding 4 units, and it was like so much. And then I had to learn all the new system. I had to learn everything that's going on with very little guidance there. They were always there to help if I had a question, but there wasn't much guidance, such as like, hey, do this and do that. It was like, hey, here, do this and figure everything else out. So without getting into all kinds of more details, even though I've already went into a lot of details, I found myself in flight or fight mode. And I didn't realize I was in flight or fight mode until about a week or two, until about 2 weeks in, when I was like, I can't even hear my spirit guides that great. And I was just in the middle of doing all kinds of Akashic records, readings for people, doing spiritual guidance sessions where I need to be able to be clear-minded and be able to tap into my guides. And I found myself in a place where I would go in and I would say, spirit guides, what should I do in this situation? It was like apartment building, house, training, I need to do this. And it was like, I cannot quiet my mind. And that is unusual for me. That doesn't happen for me. I am always able to figure out how to get my mind quiet. And for about a week period, I could not. I had to postpone and reschedule Akashic record readings and I was super transparent with them and told them, look, I'm going through a lot right this second, and my mind is just not in that place. And most people were very understanding. And I mean, I think everyone was pretty understanding, but some people wanted refunds, and then the others were like, yes, you can do mine whenever you get to it. So now this week, I'm just now starting to try to catch up on those. But this is the whole thing. When people would come to me, they would say, like, when I try to meditate, I can't quiet my mind. Or when I am trying to tap into spirit, I can't quiet my mind. Or I can't connect with my guides. And in that moment, I would always say, this always works for me. So try to go quiet. Try to allow your mind to keep clearing out. And this does work. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying this doesn't work. But I would say go quiet. Set your intention on like your third eye area. Anytime a thought comes in, send it away and allow yourself to go mindless again. And then when another thought comes in, send it away. That 100% depletes the energy or transmutes the energy of the thoughts. But when you are in flight or fight mode, which I didn't take into consideration, because probably 90 or 85% of the world is in flight or fight mode to some extent, and they don't realize it. So I got thinking, I was like, whoa, this is why a lot of people cannot connect. This is why a lot of people cannot meditate without their minds racing, because to some extent, they are in flight or fight mode. And then I started thinking, okay, well, how do we get out of flight or fight mode? I know how, but how do I guide you? What do I say to you to get out of that flight or fight mode, especially if you don't even realize you're in it? Because in that moment, I didn't realize I was in flight or fight. I was just like, gosh, I have so much going on. I can't even think straight. And then I got a week after that, and I was like, I can't even remember what I did last week. Like, I can't remember anything. And I was like, I think I'm in flight or fight mode. And the crazy thing about that is I had a session with someone that was telling me that they had flight or fight mode, or they lived in flight or fight mode for a little while, and they couldn't even remember a lot of things from their past. And I was like, oh, that's really crazy. And I didn't really think of flight or fight mode doing that, but that was a precursor. That was a warning from my guides telling me it was going to happen. And it did. And I was able to contact my guides to some extent, because obviously I've been doing this for years. I was able to talk with my guides. It just was nowhere near as clear as it usually is. And meditations were either me sleeping or me with my mind racing. So my guide said, you have full permission to dive fully in on the physical realm of things. Get this job that you're doing under control, and then we'll merge back in. But I didn't realize that part of this was a lesson to help the people that I help. So if we are having trouble with quieting our minds, if we're having trouble with connecting with our guides, connecting with spirit, getting messages, and so on, it is important to understand that this is most likely because you are in flight or fight mode in some way, shape, or form, because of things going on in life, because your job's so busy, and so on. So, the way that we get out of flight or fight mode is to bring ourselves to a place where we are slowing ourselves down, where we are allowing ourselves to become more present, where we are allowing ourselves to go out and connect with with nature. And obviously right now is a really good time to do that. But where we are allowing ourselves to just get to a calm, slow down space. Now, this is the unfortunate part with that. You either have to have a complete mind state change of, okay, I am busy with work, I am busy with life, but even though I am busy, I still have time. I still have plenty of time in the day. Even though it doesn't feel like it, I'm going to make it feel like I do. And you start to bring your awareness to now. Not thinking about yesterday, not thinking about the future, not thinking about all the things. Trying to bring your awareness to now. And you set boundaries to allow yourself to say, all right, when I'm at work, I am going to worry my ass off about work, or I'm going to work really hard with work. I'm going to allow all the things to happen. But you set that boundary of when you're done, you're done. That was the thing with this job is I wasn't setting that boundary. I was like, I'm going to go all day and I'm going to just keep doing it when I have time and blah, blah, blah. And it was like overwhelming me. So I said, after 3 o'clock each day, Monday through Friday, I'm done. Unless there's an emergency that happens, I'm done. And that has been one of the strongest things that helped me with that is at 3 o'clock, I'm not looking at notifications for the job. I'm not doing any of that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying this works for everybody, but I am saying that setting boundaries works for everyone. So you have to find what boundary you need to set and set it. And that's going to help you get out of that flight or fight mode. And then when you do that, if you've ever experienced it, you'll know you can tap in so clear. Because some people have been where they're in a place where they're like, I used to be able to tap in so clear and it used to be so easy and now I just can't do anything. And that's okay. It's because you're in flight or fight mode most likely. So allow yourself to get out of flight or fight mode. And when you do, you then will start to feel, or you'll start to be able to connect like no other. And along with setting boundaries, super important, but also setting that mind state. If you haven't ever experimented with mind state shifts, it is a game changer. Like if I have something going on in my life that is not desirable, what I will do is I will hold that something in my mind and I completely switch my perspective on it. And if things are going real bad, I will just visualize or imagine everything going right. And then I trust and assume and know that everything's going to get there and it's going to be okay. And I smile and I get happy about it. And when I'm done with that little meditation, I feel completely different about that situation. If it's a place that I feel that way and then I walk into that place, I feel completely different. Mind state shifts are a huge thing, and it shifts your momentum, it shifts your energy. That can help you get out of flight or fight mode as well. Going out and sitting in nature, or finding a time to get rid of your phone, even if it's for 2 hours, like that's a long time. Get rid of your phone, get rid of the TV, get rid of the radio, and go out to a park or to nature. Not go out to a park and listen to your headphones. Don't do that. Go out to a park and find a quiet space and just be, or walk a trail, or do something that allows you to get away from everything and reconnect with yourself. And you start to bring in all those pieces of yourself. And then you become one, and then you get out of that flight or fight mode. But we have to be able to have that clear boundary and that clear intention of when we are here, this is when I do what I need to do. But when I'm here, I let all of that go and I allow myself to just be. And the more we practice all of that, the more it helps us to get out of flight or fight mode. So at this time, I am currently out of flight or fight mode. When you're in flight or fight mode, it makes you feel like you don't have any time to do anything. It makes you feel like you don't have the capacity to handle anything. It makes you feel like you do not have the ability to go and create a class or to, like, and this is speaking from me, it made me feel like I didn't have enough time or enough energy or enough want to create a class. I couldn't even think and be creative with a class, or I couldn't get on and do my Sunday energy update. Last Sunday energy update, I completely didn't even address it. I didn't even say, hey, I'm not going to be on. It was like Sunday night at like 10 o'clock when I realized, oh crap, I needed to do my Sunday energy update earlier, and I didn't even do it. That's how powerful this stuff is when we let ourselves go. And now I'm in a space where I realize where I was at. And it is amazing to be there and then back here and to be able to talk about it and bring awareness to it. Because I think that that's something that attention needs to be drawn to, is that we are living, or a lot of us are living in flight or fight mode, and we have to be able to snap ourselves out of it. That's my story. And now I want to tell you really quick about two big changes to events that's happening. And these are free events. Well, one's free. The other one has a suggested donation, but you can donate what you need or what you can. So first thing, I've been doing my bi-weekly Monday intention setting circles. And it's been cool. It's been great. People have been learning. People have been setting intention. But I'm realizing that it's not for everybody. Some people don't like coming in and having to work to set intention for other people. Like, they don't like that, having to strain their, it feels like it's straining their mind or their third eye and stuff like that. So I think what I'm going to be doing is starting probably in October. And so in October, everything's going to be weekly on Mondays. But starting probably this week, no, not this week, next Monday, I am going to start a rotation of events on Mondays. So it's going to be, one Monday is going to be a meditation. I'm going to lead everyone through a meditation. The next Monday is going to be a intuition building Monday, where we come in and we do a quick meditation, talk about how we can strengthen our intuition, and then we're going to split off and practice doing readings on each other, just messing around with it to get a good feel for it and learn how to tap into it. And then the next week could be, I forget what I even had. Oh yeah, a Reiki share circle. So then I'm going to throw a Reiki share circle in there where we will do go around and share Reiki with each other. If you don't want to share any Reiki and you don't know how to, that's perfectly fine. You can sit there and receive it. But we're going to do that. And then maybe we'll do the intention circle, but I don't know if we're going to do that or not, because I feel like unless we're doing that every week, it's not necessarily that strong. And I don't want to waste people's time on that. But I'm probably going to find a different kind of meetup to do on that fourth day. And we're going to alternate that each month. And I think it's going to be good. The people that were there when I talked to it, I think there was about 6 or 7 of us. They were very excited about it, about the idea, and I think it's a really good idea. So we're going to start doing that probably starting next week. So not this Monday, not tomorrow, but the next Monday. I don't know the date of it. Let's see. So it's going to be the 18th. So on the 18th, I'm going to probably do a meditation. I'm going to change all this in the event tab and everything. So that's that. Second announcement. Some of you may or may not know her, but Sarah Belt. She's a good friend of mine. She's also a Reiki practitioner that does amazing work. She also works on animals, does Reiki on animals and animal communication, all that good stuff. Me and her, or her and I is the correct way to say it, are going to be teaming up to do an event that I call the 7-week chakra healing class or something along those lines. And what we're going to do is each week, starting in the beginning of September, the first Tuesday of September, it's going to be every Tuesday, we are going to do a event for a chakra, and it's going to be 7 weeks long. And we're going to start on the root chakra, then it's going to be the sacral chakra, then it's going to be the solar plexus, and so on. And we're going to go all the way up to the crown chakra. Each week we're going to do just one chakra. So what we're going to do is you're going to come. There is a necessary step to this. You have to go into the event tab and you have to give a donation, because there's a suggested donation of $33. You do not have to donate $33. We would love for you to donate $33 because we're buying food for each event. We're donating 2 hours of our time. We're utilizing our tools and all that stuff. But if you can only afford $5, don't let it stop you from coming. But you do have to go on to the link in the event to reserve your spot by giving a donation. With that being said, we only have 8 spots available each week. So what's going to happen is you're going to come, we're going to sit down, and let's say we're doing the first chakra. We're going to talk about the root chakra. So what we're going to do is I'm going to sit down, and me and Sarah are going to talk with everyone and let you know, hey, the root chakra represents all these things within the body. It governs all these different traits. It governs all these parts in the body. And this is what it feels like when it's overactive. This is what it feels like when it's underactive, or when it's just all around in general imbalanced. And then these are some ways that you can boost it and heal it. And, just talking about everything with that chakra, then you're going to lay down on a yoga mat, unless you don't want to and you want to sit in a chair, perfectly fine. And I'm going to do a sound bath for that particular chakra while Sarah walks around and performs Reiki on that chakra for you. Each person, she's going to go each individual person. And then I'm going to do like a 5-minute general sound bath to integrate everything. And then that integrates, and then we're going to get up and we are going to have a food and a drink, food or drink, or maybe both, who knows, whatever we find or do. But we're going to have snack time. So if it's the root chakra, we might have some strawberries, or we might have some tomatoes, or we might have raspberries or something other that's freaking red. Raspberries, I know they're kind of pink. I don't know. Well, whatever, some apples or whatever. And we're going to eat that while or with intention that it is helping to boost and support our root chakra. And then we're going to have conversation while we're doing it, just about our experience and just talking about things. We may start talking about other things, who knows. But that's going to be kind of the rundown of it. And I think that is a tremendous opportunity for people to come and heal and get to know their chakras. I would have loved for that class to be around when I was starting my journey. And even now, if I wasn't the one doing it, I would love to have that class around, because it's just super beneficial. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out. It doesn't matter if you've been doing spiritual work for 56 years. It's going to be good for you. And it's going to support your chakras and support your body and your energy. And that is going to really help to boost your energy. That starts in the beginning of September. I think I already said that. So that is already in the event tab. If you go in, you'll see a link, or you can click purchase ticket and you do that donation, you're in. Once it hits 8 people, I'm going to put on the event that the event is full. And then the next week, you can go ahead and do the same thing. Put a donation in and reserve that spot. And that is that's literally the only way we have to keep tabs of who's coming. Because if we just say, hey, it's donation based and you can come and just give a donation there, we may have 8 people that RSVP and we'll have 2 people that show up. And it's not worth it. I mean, it is worth it because anybody that's there is worth it. But like, we want 8 people to be there. We want to help as many people as we can, and we want dedicated people. But if 8 people say, hey, I'm coming, and then we say, hey, it's full, no one else can come, and then 4 or 5 of those people don't show up, that just wasted it for the rest of the people that want to actually come. So that's why we have it set up the way that we have it set up. So that's going to be a good thing. Another thing is I have my chakra bonding course that's coming up in the first week of October. That's an amazing course. That's in the event tab. That is literally the course that changed my life. And it helped me get to where I'm at today, helped me to understand when my energy is getting imbalanced. That is key in life, especially right now, is learning when your chakras are getting imbalanced. That is huge, because when you do the chakra bonding course, you get to feel what it's like when that chakra is perfectly imbalanced, or when it's perfectly in balance. And then you get to feel what it feels like when it's overactive, when it's underactive, or when it's just imbalanced. And that that's just some of the most beneficial stuff you can learn. And then you also, along with that, your intuition starts to open up. You also learn how to do energy healing. You have the opportunity to get Reiki certified, and it's just seriously an amazing class. So, like right now, if I start to feel one of my chakras getting out of balance, and that could mean that like my solar plexus starts to get depleted or something. Well, I start to realize that because I start to have self-worth issues. I start to feel like I'm not good enough. And that's when I know solar plexus is acting up again and it's depleted. I need to boost it up. So I might eat some yellow. I might wear some yellow, or go under some yellow lights, or whatever. And that is important to get to know. So anyway, that's there. Let's see. I think that is about all of the new announcements. And then these are things that people have heard before, but I'm going to say them again because it's important. I do have my online courses. Super amazing, super beneficial, super easy because you can do it on your own time. That is online, and that is in the comments, and you can go to that. And I see a comment in here as well. I want to read that. I just realized that. And then I also do have some offices for rent in the Sharonville location, but there is an office, a smaller office. It's one of the like regular size offices in Delhi. If anybody's interested in renting space, there is an office that's coming available at the end of this month. Would love to get someone that does something cool in there. So that is opening up. And let's see. I also offer private Reiki training. So if you're interested in learning Reiki, I would love to teach you. And it's one of my passions and what I love to do. So now I'm going to read some comments. So Brandon said, I have recently set intention to grow some of my own fruits and vegetables and spices for consumption instead of buying them from the store next year. I love that, honestly. I've wanted to do that every single year. Every single spring, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it, but then I just don't because I'm so busy with other things. But I would love to do that. And I encourage you to do it as well. And then, is the chakra bonding course on Sundays? My Mondays and Tuesdays aren't free until later in the year. Yeah, so the chakra bonding course is on Sundays. It will be, I forget the times now. I think it was Sunday from 5 to 8:30 maybe, or 4 to 7:30. I would have to look. I forget the times. But yes, they are on Sundays, and it is. I did it on Sundays because I did have it during the week, and I couldn't put it early for the week because people would get there to, like, they get there at 6:00 and then we're not done until 9:30 or something, or whatever, and it was just too late for everybody. So we do it on we're going to do it on Sundays, so we can get in there a little bit earlier and we can get out of there a little bit earlier and be able to just have the time we need to do it, because once you're in the chakra bonding class, you're going to love each class. Like, you look forward to each class each week. It's fun. And the community that happens between everyone in the chakra bonding class, we all bond, we all gel, and we all grow together, and it's really, really cool. Anyone that has taken the chakra bonding course will tell you that it is an amazing course, and it has changed a lot of people's lives, no matter if they realize it or not. There was only one chakra bonding course that wasn't the coolest chakra bonding course in the world, and that was the one that I took the energy healing portion out of it, and I wish I never would have done that, but I was experimenting with it, and it just wasn't that great. But now we have the energy healing back in it, and we come in, we discuss our week and what happened and what we have experienced, and then we go into the meditation for our chakra that we're going to be doing this next week. Then after that, we go into the other room and we start to exchange energy healing. So you lay down on the table, and then we switch it up each week. Someone comes over and they do an energy healing on you. Full body energy healing. I teach you how to do it, and it's great practice, and it teaches you the spiritual realm of things. It's just amazing. And then after you're done with them, after they are done giving you a healing, then you get up and then they lay on the table, and then you give them a healing session. And the idea is we're keeping each other clean and clear and flowing for 8 weeks. That is, getting an energy healing every single week for 8 weeks and opening up and transforming, it is like a recipe for transformation, really. It really is. It's just amazing. So that's kind of the way that it goes. And here in probably, another month, not another month, maybe another couple weeks, I am going to do a separate live just to talk about the chakra bonding course, because I want to let people know how amazing it is. I don't give a crap about making money off of the course, although I will be making money off of the course. It's no secret, but I'm taking 8 weeks of my time, 3 hours at least a week, to help everyone, which is amazing. And I love doing it, but I do have to charge for my time, and it's just the way it is. And also $300 is like freaking pennies compared to what you're getting and what you would pay anywhere else. And $350 gets you your Reiki certification. Just to get certified in Reiki, it's $300 from me. So you're basically adding on your certification for $50. It's just a win-win. So highly recommend doing it. And I think that whoever does it will not be sorry that they did it. It's an amazing class. I think we had 4 people, then 2 people, they already paid and everything, but then they realized that they are going to be, I think their daughter's getting into basketball or something like that. So they're not able to make it, which is completely get it. I gave them their money back. But right now I think we have 2 people in there. And I'll run it with 2 people. I don't care. It'll be amazing with just those 2 people. But I would love to get some more people in there to have a good group. And then Brandon, you said, perfect. I am looking forward to coming already, as well as doing Reiki certification along with it. I have been diving deeper in the Reiki, practicing the 5 principles of Reiki. That's great. Honestly, man, the 5 principles of Reiki, if you can live by those, it will change your life. I started living by them, and without even realizing they were the 5 principles of Reiki, and my whole world changed. And then I learned that they were the 5 principles of Reiki that I was living by, and I was like, that's awesome. But also, my whole life has changed. So, 5 principles of Reiki are a must to live by. And then Cindy, you says that energy healing has opened my world. Honestly, and if you, no matter if it's a session that you come and you do and you experience it, or you learn how to give Reiki energy healing, it will change your life. It really can change your life. You don't know, how many people have came in for just I don't want to say just a session, because every session's amazing. But they come in for an energy healing session, we do it, and they're like, yeah, I feel pretty light, I feel pretty good. And then months later, they're like, dude, that energy healing changed my dang life. And my whole world has been unlocked. And I love that. I truly do. That is one of the most amazing things when people tell you how much the things that you are offering, I'm just out there facilitating it. It's not me, it's the universe, it's God, it's themselves, it's whatever you want to say, but it's just so amazing when people say that it's changed their lives. So that's really great to hear, Cindy. And then Brandon says, I feel like this was meant for me, how it perfectly works with my schedule, and how it's the most interesting to me. Yeah, those damn schedules, man. I've had so many people that are like, oh, I want to do it so bad, but my schedule just doesn't work out with it. And I've had people that switch their schedules One of the people switched their schedules to where they work on Saturday instead of Sunday for those 8 weeks or whatever. And I mean, that's awesome. It really is. And when you want to get signed up for that, so to secure your spot, I just ask for your payment basically. So there is an option to pay like a portion of it to hold your spot, but that portion is not refundable. I have a whole construct. It's in my notes, but basically it's like if you pay $150, there is $150. All right, so it goes this way: you can get your money back up until 2 weeks before the course. Then there is a $50 charge if you don't cancel within or like if it's 2 weeks before the class and you cancel, you get charged a $50 fee. If it's within 1 week of the course, you get charged a $150 fee. And then if it's like the day of the course, you just don't, there's a non-refundable thing or whatever. So, and I do that because I've had people like the whole class filled, and then like 2 days before the class, everybody drops out, or everyone but one person drops out. But anyway, whenever you're ready, you can pay a deposit or whatever you need to hold your spot, and then we'll be good to go. And you would just pay the rest a week before the class starts, and then we'll be good. But I'm looking forward to it. I love teaching it. I'm serious. I mean, I love doing everything that I do. I truly do. But the chakra bonding course, man, it just holds a little special place in my heart because I get to watch everyone grow and learn, and it is just like so cool seeing everyone develop and go through these life-changing experiences. All right. So, with all that being said, I'm here if anybody needs anything. I'm not in flight or fright mode anymore, so I can help. I'm so glad that I got to experience that. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for all of you. If you have ever had a session from me, tell your friends. Go on to Google, leave a review to help the rest of the community see that it is beneficial. And then other than that, I do have a donation tab in the comments if anybody would like to donate. There's many different ways to do so. And yeah, I'll see you next Monday at the center in Delhi, or I'll see you next Sunday for a Sunday energy update. All right, see you next time.